friendly, makes your life as simple. Moving on to the step ahead. So I can develop a project simply in my IntelliJ. Why I want to choose Gradle, Maven, so many project development tool. So in order to develop a project, we are using a Maven based tool. It's an automation tool mainly for developing a Java project. So we have so many advantages of Maven. One basic thing which we can say is, so you can able to develop a project in a regular way. If you are developing in 3 months, if you used Maven based application, you can complete your project within a month. Time, effort, whatever the dependencies you want to add, libraries you want to add, without much risk, programmers can easily add a library. We don't want to download a complex jar. You can ask me, ma'am, 1 week before we have downloaded or we have attached the existing JDBC jar for Java connector. Can we overcome? Yes. So we have a separate session for Maven, but I told you when you are creating a project, when you are creating a new project, ensure that not in Java, you use Maven and you select artifact, or even without artifact, ensure that you are selecting Maven based project. So when you develop a Maven based project, what are all the additional files you can see in this Maven? So you will have your default app.java. Apart from that, and this is the same program which I created as a demo program.
Test.
You will find Java package and you will have test package. By default, I have app. So for app, it automatically created app test file, which consists of some test cases. Since we don't have any method, so they just had one test case with some condition truly. Apart from that, have you noticed one more file which is POM, project object model file? So I told you, your project work, your life makes as simple in Maven environment with the help of POM file. So some days back, I told you explicitly, if you are going with JDBC without Maven, if you are into Maven, the story is different. Without Maven, we developed the JDBC without Maven, right? So if I want to add Java connector, JDBC jar, MySQL jar, what is the procedure? I went with file, project structure, under modules, dependency, we used to add MySQL connector jar. Before that, I should have jar in my machine. This is how a regular procedure. I should have jar. If I don't have jar, I need to download jar and I want to attach the jar in my machine. This is a traditional, this is one way. I will not say, so there were many more ways, especially for connection. Okay. So can I overcome instead of downloading or attaching a jar in my project? I can overcome by adding a dependency. I don't want to put an effort in downloading the jar and attaching a jar. Just add a dependency. So you will find so many, it's an XML file, so many tag based syntax you will have. So slowly you will get into all. So anyway, we will not get into much. So the primary duty of us is to add a dependency. So if you see line number 21, you will find dependencies. So since we have test case, by default, one dependency has been added, that is JUnit 4.11 dependency. I will come to JUnit 5 version, but before that, I just wanted to compare what is one primary advantage of using this Maven and POM file. I was taking an example of your MySQL jar. Listen to me. I haven't started with JUnit at all. So instead of downloading, attaching a jar, so you can reduce the programmer's work, developers' work by adding dependency. Just go to Google. We have an official website called Maven repository.com, MVN repository. So this is an official site. So you can get all types of dependencies over here. So let's assume MySQL JDBC connector. Just randomly search. I'm just searching. Please go to mvnrepository.com. You will find search whatever the dependency you want to add. Let's assume in my project, I want to go for MySQL JDBC connector. Just go with the proper term or even random term you will get. You will find something called as MySQL connector jar, or simply type MySQL JDBC Maven. It will automatically redirect to mavenrepository.com under MySQL connector. Either you can go by this way or you can go by this way. So you will find a lot of repositories. So try to use the latest one with high number of usage without any warning, without any problems. So I'm preferring 8.0.29. Just click this link. You can go by this way, or if you search in Google MySQL JDBC Maven, it will redirect it directly to this page where you can get this 8.0.29. If you click, it will redirect you the page where you will get various ways of adding dependency for Gradle, Kotlin, Maven, various. So various project development environment. Anyway, so we want to have Maven based application. So just copy this, select it, and first line is a commenting line. Just select it, copy, go to IntelliJ, go to your pom.xml under dependencies. Under dependencies tab, just right click and paste. Listen carefully. So once if you are pasting any dependency, on top right corner, you will find a kind of a download button, or automatically it needs to download all the dependencies in your IntelliJ. So just click this. It will take less than a minute to download. If you noticed in my bottom task manager, it will take some time to download. Automatically it will download. Story over. If you have dependency, I don't want to have my jar file. Can you relate? If you are developing a project, and in the project, if you want JDBC connection, you need to attach jar. This is one way. The other way is you can develop a Maven based project. In that, just add 4 lines. That's all, story over. You no need to attach this jar. Likewise, for all the functionality, we have a dependency, which will make our lives as simpler. Developers life.
What about the connection?
That connection is required. Connection object. Connection is it's an interface object. These are all required for coding. So in order to establish a connection, we need a driver. Either you can go for jar or you can go for these 4 lines. I'm making it sense. Even if you delete, it will work.
So the dependency that we just downloaded,
automatically it will download. That is why there is a reload project option.
And then we are establishing the connection as before.
It will work. It will work.
Okay.
So instead of searching for a jar, downloading a jar, attaching a jar to the project, all those things can be overcome by these 4 lines of dependency, which is readily available for all the concepts. Many more are there. We will use this. Once if you start with backend, all the services are depend upon Maven dependency. Okay, listen. So this latest version of Java and your IntelliJ will not support your JUnit 4. Okay, let me come to JUnit 5. So I will use in the same project which I created for the demonstration on some 4 days back. I think on Friday morning I created. You remember I just created customer class interface with 3 methods. Out of that I completed only display all customer. So assume like in your project you want to add a test case. So latest version of Java does not support JUnit 4 version. So please use JUnit 5. So JUnit 5 is also called as Jupyter API. So just go to Maven repository or simply search in Google. So search like JUnit 5 Maven dependency. JUnit 5 Maven story over. So this is the latest version where it supports JUnit 5 Maven, or you search here. So JUnit 5, don't go for lower version, which is Jupyter. It will automatically redirect to not 4 version, by the way. JUnit, you can go for Jupyter. So this is your JUnit 5. Now you choose this. So I will go for 5.8.2 because I can see maximum numbers, the latest one. So just copy this. Are you with me, guys? JUnit
Yes,
and
ma'am.
first
Yes,
version name
ma'am.
is Jupyter API. Search in Maven repository. You choose whichever is maximum usage without any vulnerability, without any warning, without any partial completion. So use the latest one with maximum usages. Click this. Is a link. So copy. Go to your project. Go to POM file. Don't get collapsed with this tags. So there should be proper dependencies, plural. Under that you will have various dependency. So ensure that proper dependency is closed and you paste your JUnit 5 dependency. By default, you will find this reload icon. Please look into my screen. So you will find this reload icon. Click. It will take, please look into the taskbar. It will take less than a minute. So to download all the dependency. That's all, story over. And it is, as per my knowledge, you people are creating song implementation class, podcast implementation, playlist details class. So it is recommended to create test cases for all the implementation class. So go to test under org.example. If you have 4 or 5 implementation class, I want to see 5 test cases. So I have created customer implementation. So I am creating a Java class, name it as customer implementation test. Am I making it sense? So I want to see 5 test cases classes. Under that, depend upon the method. If you have 4 methods under song, so you can have, you can test all the 4 methods. If you really feel like you don't have a time, I'm accepting. So what are all the annotations you can recollect under test cases? I'll show you nothing. Where is, I think it comes under course 2. Yeah. In our course 2, we came across with this. These are the annotations. So @test annotation is used to include your test cases. Before each, before all the test cases, if I want to initiate something, I can use before each. After my test case is done, if I want to do something, clearing the memory, cleanup action, I can use after each. This is for all test case. This is after all test case. And we have various methods, assert methods, just to check your test cases. Oh my God, guys, can you able to recollect? Can you recollect? Where is week?
Yes, yes.
Week 2. Hardly the first week of May we discussed.
I think we only use the assert equals.
That's fine. So this assert true, the function needs to return true. You can use in the method where it is returning Boolean. And if the, so true, false. So equals is pretty good, fine. So we just wanted to check our actual value and the expected value. Okay, quickly let me complete. I am using before each. So this time I'm not using, what was that? 4th version. I'm using the 5th version, Jupyter API. And always we call with the method setup. So every time when I'm calling the test case, this method will be called. So always I want to initialize my class. What was my class? My class was customer implementation. So customer implementation have this practice. So class name will be capitalized word, object name will be small letter word. Have this practice. So customer implementation object is equal to new customer implementation of. And after calling all, after each tear down. This is just a user defined method, but we always have this setup and tear down method. Have this programming practice. I am going to make my object as null. Is that clear? So this customer implementation test is used to test the methods available under customer implementation. So create an object under a setup method and deinitialize under your tear down method. This is just a user defined method. The method will be identified and it can be executed only with the help of proper annotation. So how to include test cases?
At test.
Very good. At test. Don't go for 4th version, go for Jupyter API. I can use any method. Public void. What was the first method? Display all customer. Let it be, it is returning list. So I can use display all customer test. This is just a user defined method. 1 second. Let me test my code and let me test my method. How many records I'm having? 13 records. You remember my customer table consists of 13 records. I'll use the same. One second. Go for 5th version. ORG JUnit assert JUnit assert. Give me some time. Let me confirm it is available. Yeah, it is available under assertion packaging. Listen, I am comparing the size. So I have totally, my list consists of 13 records. So expected is 13. And the second parameter is actual. From where I want to call actual? In my customer implementation object dot display all customer dot size. What is the size method? Size comes under which class?
Array list method.
It is a method of collection interface. We have add method, we have remove method, we have contains method and size method. So I'm using the object, I'm calling the method display all customer, and the method is returning a value, and the method is returning an array list. And I'm just checking the size of that list which it is returning. So I know that it will return 13, and that 13 I'm gonna to compare with the expected value 13. If both are true and both are same, it returns test case pass. If it is not match, then it will throw an error. And I'm not sure with the calling size. So when you executed your customer implementation test, as of now, I have only one test case. Under the test case, whatever the test, I want to compare my actual and expected. If it matches, it will be resultant as test case passed. If it is not matches, it will be resultant as failed. Can you see expected is 12, but the actual it is returning is 13. So let me go for one more. Assert equals, wait. So I have 13 data in my list. So let me compare my second customer name Madhu. So let me try to get second customer name Madhu, and I'll compare whether it is Madhu or not. Shall we? Same thing you can do when you are doing a sorting. So let's assume you are sorting. So sorting, you will get Adesh, and then you will get, let's assume Abdul, and then you will get Anurag. So you want to compare the third name is Anurag and the third phone number or fifth phone number. You can do it with test case so that you can check whether it has been sorted or not. Am I making it sense? Guys?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm leaving to you. Whatever you wanted to test based on the output you are getting from the method, do it. Not only size, all possibilities are there. Listen, string expected is equal to Madhu, and string actual is equal to, from my object, the method display all customer, I'm gonna to get 0, 1 first index name. See, this is just a direct value, Madhu. Is it visible, guys? This is my expected value, but the actual value I'm getting from the method. In method, I am getting the first index. Index always starts from 0. I'm getting the first index and its name. So I'm just comparing expected with actual. If both are Madhu, it will be resultant as test case. All the test cases will be passed, else error. Can you see? All the test cases are passed. Instead of Madhu, let me give Madhu 1, 2, 3. Expected is Madhu 1, 2, 3, but the actual returning is Madhu. So get is a method under collection, and you have to pass index and get whatever the name. It's an object type. From the object you can get getter variable. So you can ask me the purpose of getter. So this is the purpose of getter. So where is this get C name? Get C name is available under my Pojo class. Line number 24. Can you see get C name? So I want to see 5 test classes for song implementation, for podcast, playlist, user, and playlist in details. So point number 1, I'm sure check in your project, you will find form.xml. So please get Jupyter. If you want, I will share, no problem. And don't forget to reload your project. So either you can do, or you can reload, or go to Maven and just download all the sources, or reload the project. Or simply you will find the reload icon on top right corner. Do it. And under test Java, in your group ID, you create a classes. It's a Java class. And you add whatever the annotation you want. So PPT is must. Ensure that you're creating a proper professional PPT where you are explaining everything about your project. And this time explanation of code is there. You need to explain the code depend upon the requirement of evaluator. Test case is mandatory. I want to see test cases and try to use Java 8 features. Yeah. So I'm giving you a few minutes time just to download and have your Jupyter API